With mandatory minicamp starting up today, there are a few players in particular for the Ravens that I'm extremely interested in with regard to how they perform during these practices. Of course, whether or not they do well in minicamp is not the end all be all for how well they're going to do during the season. And at this point, we're still 12 weeks away from the start of the regular season. Just for a frame of reference on how long that is, we are as far away from the start of the season as the start of the season is from the John Harbaugh versus Jim Harbaugh Ravens and Chargers game on Thanksgiving, November 25th. But with that being said, let's get to it. Welcome in, everyone. This is Jordan with Ravens Flash Report, and today, like I said in the opening, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 players that I'm most interested in seeing how they perform during minicamp, mainly due to their performance during the regular season being crucial to the Ravens' success. These aren't in any order, and they're on both sides of the ball, but they are players who I either expect to start or should have a significant impact for the Ravens over the course of the 2024 season. But let's get into the list, starting out with my first player, Roger Rosengarden. After being selected in the second round with the pick number 62 in this year's draft, Roger became first on the depth chart, in my opinion, for the right tackle position. Now, that doesn't mean that he should just be given the starting role, as we do have a few players that should be battling for that position, and we know that the Ravens don't do that anyway. But not only do I want Roger to win the starting job, due to him being a second round pick, I also believe that he has the highest potential upside and ceiling of anyone battling for that position. Now, as far as where his floor is, well, that's what I want to see. As with pretty much everybody on this list, how Roger does at minicamp will not be the deciding factor as to whether he gets the starting job, but at this point, I want to see from him a decent understanding of the playbook, not too many mental errors, and how he looks on this line when dealing with bigger, stronger players like Travis Jones, Brent Urban, and Broderick Washington. The next player that I'm interested in taking a look at is Odafe Oweh. Last year, Odafe showed us more consistency throughout the year than in previous seasons. He was better at setting the edge against the run, better at consistently getting into the backfield, and had more pressures than in any prior year. Now, obviously, this should be the expectation for him from a developmental standpoint, as well as what you want to see from your first round pick. And although, yes, we know that he started out raw due to starting football later than most, that's not really a viable reason for me anymore. During this minicamp, I'd love to hear Odafe's name being called more than any other pass rusher. I do want him to be consistent, but at this point, I expect him to take the next leap into not only more of a leadership role, but also in the production area. This next player is one I expect every Ravens player to be watching with piqued interest over the next few weeks. Ronnie Stanley. With Ronnie Stanley, I'm not looking for development at this point, of course. What I want to see from Ronnie mainly is 3 things. The first is I want him to stay healthy the whole time. I mean, no setbacks, no rest days, and not being pulled to the sideline to be looked at. Number 2, I want to see where his strength is at compared to last year. I know one of the biggest issues last year for him was not being able to, or feeling comfortable at least, with anchoring. So I'm hoping this offseason provided him enough time to get that health back. And number 3, I want to see what he looks like athletically. I want to see how he is in space. How is he getting up to the second level? And is he on the same page with Lamar? The next player I want to see do well in minicamp is Rashod Bateman. Now, we've already heard good things about Bateman from OTAs. Things like he's hard to cover, he looks healthy, and as always, he's a smooth route runner. So during minicamp, what I want to know is how his chemistry looks with Lamar. How is his timing on the short and intermediate routes? Are they on the same page when it comes to deep shots? I know that everybody, including myself, is looking at Devontae Walker as the main deep threat for this team going into the season. But let's not forget that Bateman does have the speed to get over the top. His issue last year with Lamar was simply one of timing that came from not really having enough opportunities to work together due to Bateman's injuries. So I'll also throw in the same as I did for Ronnie, that I just want to see Bateman stay healthy. A consistent and healthy Bateman who has good chemistry with Lamar is something this offense could really benefit from seeing. The last Raven I want to talk about with regards to camp is Marlon Humphrey. Last season was a very up and down one for Marlon. He was injured, he was in and out of the lineup, and for all but a few games, he was not the number 1 corner on this team. We of course know about the preseason foot surgery from last year, which kept him out of the first 4 games of the season. So what I want to know is if he can have a bounce back year in 2024. That starts with minicamp, where just like Ronnie, I want to see consistency. I want to see how in shape he is, and I want to see if he can put together multiple practices without either an injury flare-up or being beaten too bad in coverage. I'm really glad we drafted Nate Wiggins this year, but a healthy Marlon Humphrey as well would make this defense really dangerous. So those 5 guys are ones that I'm really going to be interested in seeing during mandatory minicamp. And like I said at the start, I don't think that having a good minicamp or a bad minicamp will make or break their season. But after losing so much talent and coaching this past offseason, having a good showing at our first mandatory training camp would be excellent to hear about for our Ravens. If you guys enjoyed, please like the video. If you're new around here, subscribe for more Ravens content, and comment down below which player you're most excited about for the upcoming mandatory minicamp. That's all I got for you guys today, but as always, stay safe out there and go Ravens.